The fear of not succeeding. The fear of being defined by other people's mistakes.
Fear of my parents not wanting to see me anymore. Fear of being bullied because I'm in care.
The fear of not reaching my ambitions. The fear of not having any friends. The fear of being labelled a troublemaker.
The fear of not fitting in. The fear of the word care being used against me.
The fear of being unwanted. The fear of not reaching expectation. The fear of becoming someone who I won't like.
The fear of being passed around. Fear of being alone.
When you first tell people that you're in care, what do they first assume about you?
That you're unwanted, like that your parents didn't want you and that they don't love you. There was a few people in my year that knew, but like nobody really knew until year 9. When I mentioned I was in care, everyone was like, "Oh my God, how long have you been in care for?" And I was like, 3 years.
When I first went to care, my school really knew. Some of the staff at my school knew, but not many of the students did. I think it was only 2 years, like a year later, something like that they figured it out.
Everyone knows I'm in care. Like, I just say it for I just tell people because I'm not really scared anymore.
Yeah, it's not
they can say what they
anymore.
want. Yeah.
What are some of the oddest things that you've been asked about, like being in care?
I think the weirdest thing I got asked was, "What's the food like?" I don't know, like people found out I was in foster care and they went, "What's the food like?" Because apparently when you go into foster care, the food's really terrible. It's like prison food, and I'm like, where the hell have you got this?
People think you live in a B&B or something. And like, no, it's just a family unit. They make food.
It's just a normal
Before I came into foster care, I thought it was quite a negative thing, but now that I'm in a placement myself, I know that it's not like that, and I know that kids in care are no different to kids who aren't. Being in foster care has offered me the chance to make mine and my mum's relationship better, and now we got on like a lot better than what we did when we were living together, and it's helped me with like my own mental health and like my own like being happy in myself. At school, I'm a student ambassador now. I'm also planning to apply for prefect and eventually head girl. I just want that opportunity to prove that I'm not just a kid in care, that I can be so much more if you give me a chance. I want to show like younger students in my school who are in care that no doors are closing on you. You've got so many opportunities. I'm also involved in the Cared for Children Council, and I've applied for Cared for Children Ambassador to try and improve other children's lives who are in foster care that might not be happy in a placement. I think kids in schools who aren't in care do need to be educated on what it means. You're in a safe environment and you have amazing opportunities to make new friends and to go to amazing places. In 5 years' time, hopefully I'll be studying politics, I'll be a politician, but my main ambition in life is to have a job that I'll be able to help change people's lives for the better. Being in Rochdale Town Hall and in the council chambers, it just makes me feel like I want to be a part of decisions that are being made, and I want to make changes to the world and to the children in Rochdale, and I want to give them better opportunities to improve their lives.
The only time I ever really have to talk about my foster care experience is because I call my carers my grandparents because we're that close. So when I say my grandparents, people go, "Don't you mean your carers?" So I have to explain to them that I'm that close with them that they've become family to me.
So when I'm talking to my mates, I just say, "Oh, my mum or my dad," or "Let me bring my mum or something." And people at first judged me and everything. It was like, "Why are you calling them your mum and dad?" So I was like, because I've got that close to them and I've known them for 4 years, it's just become natural now. So when I'm talking to my mates, I don't have to say, "Oh, my foster carer this" or "my foster carer that." I can just say mum or dad because I feel comfortable saying it.
Sometimes like when I go to like family barbecues and stuff with my new family, like people always say, oh, you look like your dad. I'm like, thanks.
Yeah, I think that's dead nice. So like when you go pub and then like people go, oh, is this your daughter? To like my foster parents, and like, yeah, like that feels really good.
It puts a smile on my face and just...
I've been in care for just over 2 years. My experience of care has been very positive actually. It's been really good. Like, I've got a family unit and everyone's there for each other, so wasn't scary whatsoever. Obviously I'd come from such a different background where I was quite neglected, so obviously I could do what I wanted, be in whenever I wanted. My family didn't really check up on me, and now I'm in a position where they want to know where I am and want to know when I'm safe, and it's not a negative thing because it shows that they care. Everyone thinks it's terrifying, but after the first couple of weeks it just feels natural and you feel like you belong there. Some of the negative stereotypes that people have are your parents must be dead. I've had that one a few times. Just general stuff that they've seen on TV where it's like your parents don't love you, all that kind of stuff. It's not about that whatsoever. It's just about the fact that your parents can't look after you at that point in your life. So you get brought into care, so then you have a second chance at life really. My foster parents have been more parents to me than like my actual ones, so they can come over for tea whenever they want. I'm involved with a lot of stuff. Monday I go to a group called Vibe. That's all about arts and music and literature. I do photography for them. When they need like pictures for their Facebook and various stuff, I volunteer and I take photos for them to do that. This September I'll be starting college and I'm doing film photography there, and I hope to then go to uni to do fashion photography. In 5 years' time, I want to get into a career of fashion photography and make it for myself.
Care means like a second chance in life, and like people are like a second family to like support me and like make me feel more positive about myself. I've been in care for 8 years now. I'm in a long-term placement, which means I'll be there till I'm 18 and then I'll leave care. I've done dancing ever since I was like 2. But I would always like dance in my room because it was my passion and it was just my way of like being me, and like that's what I wanted. When I leave school, I wanted to go to Welbeck College, which is a uniform college, and study uniform, and hopefully it'll end up getting me to Sandhurst Military Academy, where I'd hopefully train and apply for being a military police officer. I don't think I look up to anyone. I just like being me and dancing and learning off my dance teacher. I guess my dance teacher is my biggest role model because like she's always seen the positive in me, and like I guess that she just made me feel more positive whilst dancing. My older sister has been dancing all her life and she's just amazing, and like she amazes me every time she dances, so I look up to her as well. If I was to give someone advice of like being in care, and I think just be positive and be yourself, because whoever you go and live with or whoever like tries and support you is there to support you, not hurt you, and they're there to like love you, and I guess like I know that they're all there for me, and I know the people that I can talk to, so.
I've been in care for 1 year and 7 months. It can be tricky at first, but once you get to know your carers, it might be a little easier. Some of the fun stuff I like doing is ACE, youth clubs. ACE is somewhere you can learn new skills like motor vehicle, woodwork. Some of the things I've learned is how to get along with different people and how to make new friendships and how to move vehicles around. Some of the fun stuff I've done at ACE, I think, is working independently by myself. Coming here has built my confidence up. Well, with Steve's help, we can jack cars up using the wheel jack, axle stands, and never know how loud those engines can be. I won the Head Teachers Award last year, and I've just become Student Ambassador for my school. After school, I plan on going to college to do motor vehicle, and then I plan on, in the future, going to tram driver.
I've been with the same placement for the last 3 years, but prior to that I was with another set of carers who I lived for about 3 months whilst my mum was in hospital. Life now is very different to when I first went into care. When I first went into care, I was actually a horrible person. I was really moody and I was focused on my schoolwork, but I wasn't as focused as I am now, and I wasn't as confident as I am either. So people will come up to my carers now and say that ever since I've come into care with them, I've become a lot more confident. I don't only give the credit to my carers, but I give the credit to cadets as well. I love the Air Cadets because, for one, it's improved my confidence as a person. It helps you develop your discipline, and it also helps you with teamwork, so when we do leadership activities mainly. But the thing I love most about our squadron is that everyone gets along. We're all there for each other when we need it. After I'd been there for about 6 months, I decided that I'd actually like to make a career out of it. I'd like to go into the legal department because I've always had an interest in law and justice and politics. I've always had plans to go to university since I was little because my mum and dad were always really supportive about that. The word family just means the people who have helped me develop as a person. So definitely my carers. I consider all of my foster family, I consider them my family, and then I consider my blood family. And honestly, I consider my close friends as family as well. I hope this film will make people realise that cared for children aren't defined by the stereotypes that they're given. Being cared for, I've become so accustomed to it now, it just feels normal.
What advice would you give out to other young people who aren't in foster care about prejudging us?
Just because we're in care doesn't mean our families don't love us. It's not our fault that we're in care.
Our labels don't define us. What people use to stereotype us isn't the people that we are. What we're labelled as doesn't define who we are or what we do with our future or what's happened in our past. Most people actually do get a foster family that do care and do strive to help them get the best future possible.
Just because we're in care, that doesn't mean that what you say to us doesn't affect us. And when you make those nasty comments just because you think it's funny and you're getting a kick out of it, it can really put the person down you're saying to. So just watch out what you say to them, because it's not always their fault why they're in care.
To be honest, you're probably better having, such called foster carers, because they've actually had the training, so they're probably better than any parent anyway.
They're the actual ones who have been educated in parenting. Your parents, they aren't educated in it. They just have you and they're you know what, I'm just going to go along with this, and if it works, it works.
I've been in care for 9 years approximately. I have had 3 foster care placements in 9 years. My latest placement I've been in for 8 years. I don't think being in care stops me from having any dreams and ambitions I have. I just feel more secure and like it's more of a family. Music means everything to me. I'm really passionate at the minute about creating my own music. Other stuff I'm doing, I do scouts. In scouts, I do climbing, sports. Scouts means a lot to me as well, yeah. Climbing involves a lot of trust in other people and a lot of physical and mental strength. I've been doing climbing for quite a while. Climbing means a lot to me. I would recommend climbing to other young people as well. It builds relationships and trust and involves a lot of teamwork. What I hope to get from a film like this is that more young people can understand what it's like to be in foster care, and it's not something to be ashamed of.
Whilst the children I look after might not be orphans, they're definitely lacking a family. So it's very important that because of my faith and my community, that I offer that service. It takes a village to bring up a child, so. The barriers to children in care is the label of being looked after. Rochdale children don't like to be called looked after, but they're cared for children. The children themselves are worried about what other people think, and especially their peers. But I've always found that when cared for children get together, that they're much more relaxed because they know they don't have to explain themselves. I think to break down barriers and labels, the wider community needs to understand and not assume just because you're in care that you're not going to be a success story.
I am brave.
I am honest.
I am kind.
I am positive about my future.
I am funny.
I am strong.
I am thinking about other people.
I am caring.
I am in care.
I've got some really big hopes and ambitions for this film. The voice of the young person, unfiltered, uncut, is a really, really powerful tool. So I want people to hear the voices of the young people who are in care in Rochdale. And in that way, break down barriers, get rid of some stereotypes, and help to make the future for all of our young people in care as bright and as positive as possible.